I have always dreamt of having a butterfly garden. But then when my husband and I moved to a more rural area with an abundance of trees, I thought, I'm gonna make a butterfly forest. I was specifically going to do it in this tree grove here. It was a simple plan. I was going to forge an earthen path through this tree grove, maintain it, scatter wildflower seeds in the sunny areas. The flowers would grow, the butterflies would come in droves. I'd set up a table and chairs, preferably in English garden style, and my husband and I would go out there every morning to enjoy our coffee with the butterflies. Sounds like a beautiful idea, right? But nature had other plans and it insisted on growing over my beautiful earthen path. So I thought, no problem. All right, I'll just mulch the trail and then that will block things from coming up. Easy, easy. I got wrong again. Nature finds a way. And now we have a poison ivy and nettle infestation. Clearly, the only remedy to the situation is a couple of cute goats, but that's an adventure for another day. So instead, I've decided to go back to the original idea of the butterfly garden, which I will be putting on our back deck. So I have gone ahead and cleared off our back deck. We're planning on swapping out this brown color for Atlantic blue on the deck itself and then white on the railings. Should be really pretty. Of course, this means that we will be power washing, stripping, sanding, cleansing, and finally staining the deck. Then, of course, we will actually set up the garden. But before I can do any of that, I have to wait for a second round of baby bird hatching. I know it looks cute, but that's a cowbird in a common yellowthroat's nest. Here's an interesting, gruesome nature fact. Cowbirds engage in a behavior called brood parasitism, where they leave their eggs in a host bird's nest. The host bird raises the cowbird as its own. The baby cowbird tends to be bigger and more aggressive than the host baby, so it will actually squish out the competition. And while it's sad to witness, this is simply a survival strategy on the part of the cowbird, so I've decided to mind my own business and create this watercolor and ink sketch of the proposed butterfly garden. This is the vision, my friends. I've also seeded flowers that I'd like to grow on the back deck. So I've got some snapdragons, calendula, zinnia, sweet pea, and some nasturtium. So in spite of all of the challenges and false starts surrounding this project, I think it's all going to work out. By the end of July, the baby birds will have hatched and flown out of the nest. I'll have the deck stained. The flowers will be almost blooming. And that's just in time for August when we have an abundance of butterflies. It might be a little cliche, but it's true that good things take time, especially coffee in a butterfly garden. Stay tuned for part 2.